So I've shown the importance of subtracting light both with natural and artificial devices and how beneficial scrims can be. Now we're going to turn our attention to adding light. We'll begin this section on adding light with reflectors. And here we have an easy and simple reflector. We've got a white garage door that's going to be reflecting beautiful sunlight back on our senior. The image on the left, as you can see, is very flat. That was done in the middle of her yard where there was no strong directional light, just the skylight. We could fix that, but then there'd still be no light pattern on her face. The one in the middle was one where she was right next to the garage door, so we had that beautiful sunlight bouncing off of her garage door, lighting her up. The one on the right was done with a portable reflector. So let's talk about how we can do that, because we can't always have a big garage door with us. Well, we can't always carry a white garage door with us, so this is a reflector that we're going to be using kind of in the middle of a woods. It's a big white reflector that's like an umbrella. It's not available anymore, but you can use anything that will accomplish the same goal. But we're going to be reflecting sunlight back on our senior for a typical headshot yearbook photograph. This before and after shows the benefit of adding that white reflector. Could we have lightened the one on the left? Yeah, but there's really no direction of light that's good, and it would have required some work. Fixing the light is always preferable to fixing it in Photoshop. Here we've got a silver reflector mounted relatively high on the light stand to create a higher direction of light. And a silver reflector can be used relatively far from the subject because it's more efficient at redirecting the sunlight back only to that subject. This comparison shows the benefit of using a reflector. The image on the left was straight out of the camera, and it's quite green because the ambient light was green, with all the light bouncing off of the grass and the trees. The middle image was color corrected for that green, but it's still not very good in that there's no direction to the light. The image on the right was done with the reflector, and there was no need to color correct it because the light was coming from the reflector stronger than the overall ambient green light. So just fix it with lighting rather than fixing it in Photoshop. I like these pop-open type of reflectors. They flex, they don't scratch anything if they fall against something, but they do flex a bit in the wind. So here you can see that we have excessive contrast. There's really not enough light on her face, and then we've got the sunlight on her arm and everything, so there's just too much contrast between the sunlight and the shadow. The camera's on a tripod, by the way. So by adding a reflector, now we've got a lot more light on the front of her face, which is good. But now we've got the reflector in the scene. How do we fix that? Well, because the camera was on a tripod, nothing moved, so I just used the scene behind that reflector and masked that in.